Honorable Chairperson, the Freedom Front Plus welcomes the Minister's announcement this past weekend that he will launch an investigation regarding suspicious expenses occurred at official residences for use by ministers and deputy ministers. These expenses are not a new occurrence, and we can no longer allow it to continue. 1.4 million for the renovation of a kitchen, 54,000 for curtains, 50 million for fuel for generators, and even worse, the replacement of light bulbs for an amount of 19,000 rand. While South Africans are suffering without electricity, the lights are burning at these residences in Pretoria and Cape Town. While our hospitals are suffering due to the fact that infrastructure is collapsing, these huge amounts are spent on our official residences. While the maintenance of our government buildings are not given the necessary attention, and where this department suffered a huge loss of revenue due to this problem, these huge amounts are spent on official residences. While South African infrastructure is busy collapsing on a huge scale, these amounts, that makes no sense at all, are being spent on social official residences. While our children must attend school in pitch dark classrooms, these senseless amounts are being spent. While our students must attend dark universities, these amounts are being spent and wasted. While the South African Institution of Civil Engineers Infrastructure Report Card for 2022 found that South Africa's infrastructure is in a crisis and described as at the risk of failing or unfit for purpose, these amounts are being spent on our official residences. While the elderly suffers in old age homes due to the fact that they cannot utilize electricity for their oxygen machines, these senseless amounts are being spent on senseless items. While South Africans has dry taps, these amounts are being spent on official residences. This government needs to sort out its priorities, and we simply cannot continue on this path because of South Africa is suffering and bleeding to death. In the annual performance plan for 23-24, it is indicated that it must be ensured that infrastructure is used as a catalyst to drive economic growth and employment through partnership with the private sector. However, Freedom Front Plus is of the opinion that this will not be achieved with the current racist laws like affirmative action and broad-based black economic empowerment in place. Get rid of these racist laws and you will see how investments will flow to this country. Get rid of the red tape and allow the private sector to expand, and then you will see economic growth and job creation on a huge scale. Then you will see industry rights on a huge scale. Get rid of expropriation without compensation, then you will see South Africa rights as the best country in the world to live in. Fraud and corruption has already taken its toll in the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. The Beitbridge border scandal, the Causey Bay border scandal, the scandal relating to COVID-19 procurements, and the list go on. Until today, we have not seen anyone jailed for these corrupt activities. Since the establishment of Infrastructure South Africa in November 2019, but is supposed to be steered by the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Ramaphosa, we have not seen any positive contributions that this new entity has made towards the upgrading, refurbishment of buildings of new infrastructure across the country. South Africa is in dire need of new hospitals and clinics, new schools, new port buildings, new police stations, new railways, new border fencing, new roads, new electricity infrastructure, houses for the poor, water and sanitation, new dams and bridges, and the list goes on. Our harbors are certainly not up to standard and needs urgent attention. In the words of this department's own annual performance plan for 23-24, the challenge is the availability of robust, credible, and bankable project pipelines. The allocation for infrastructure projects for 24 departments is welcome, as we simply cannot afford that our government buildings fall into decay on a daily basis. The South African taxpayer cannot afford this, and this government must see that this problem is resolved on an urgent basis. The maintenance of government buildings and the lack of an effective maintenance program is an area of great concern. The lack of assets management results in no safeguarding of assets being abandoned and looters stripping these assets. This is not just a loss in revenue for this department, but also for the South African taxpayer. The outstanding rent owed by client departments places a further burden on this department, and the taxpayer must bear the cost at the end of the day. Achtbare minister, u is 'n nuwe minister vir die portefeulje. Ons verwelkom u so, maar ek hoop regtig van harte dat u in staat sal wees om al hierdie krisisse wat ons infrastruktuur in Suid-Afrika kan oplos. Baie dankie.